Hi everyone, and welcome to the Art of Happiness After Loss Summit. I'm Lois McCullough, and I'm your host for this exciting series of interviews, where our aim is to give you all the inspiration, motivation and practical tools you need for healthy recovery after loss. Our experts are going to share with you some simple things you can do in your life to help you be full of energy, fulfillment, happiness and joy. I'm so delighted to welcome Rita SChiano to our summit today. Rita is the founder of Live a Flourishing Life, assisting people and businesses to develop and tap into the skills and attitudes necessary for them to overcome personal and professional barriers, build resilience, and live a better life. Rita is the author of several books, including Live a Flourishing Life, a stress management and resilience building process workbook, the critically acclaimed semi-autobiographical novel Painting the Invisible Man and Sweet Bitter Love, and articles for the Huffington Post, AOL, Healthy Living, and guest blogger for Psychology Today. Rita is an adjunct professor at Bay Path College, where she teaches teaching philosophy, leadership, and stress management courses. She is a professional member of the National Speakers Association. So hi Rita, welcome.
Hello, Lois. Thank you for inviting me. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the summit. What a wonderful idea you had, Lois.
Oh, thank you, Rita. Rita, I've just shared a little bit about you with our listeners, but is there anything else you'd like to add, or perhaps why the art of happiness, the whole subject of loss, resonated with you on a personal level?
Absolutely. You know, it resonated with me, Lois, when you and I spoke about this, because it was about 7-8 years ago. I really had a shift in my psyche, much more towards the happiest point in my life. And it was when I came to terms for the first time after nearly 35 years on dealing with the loss of my father. Because I lost my father at a young age, and I lost him to a murder. And, you know, when I lost him at the age of 20, and for decades, I mean, literally decades, I had kind of buried this. And it had such an effect on my life in ways I didn't even realize. But just a series of circumstances, you know, I'm one of those believers that when we're ready, the universe shows us the way. And
it doesn't matter how long that's been, I guess. You've shown that.
Absolutely. And once I really understood what my grief was about, understood what that loss really meant to me, I truly became a very happy, and I'd like to say actually more joy-filled person.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've separated the two words, happiness and joy-filled. So what does happiness or joy mean to you? What is the difference? Or is there a difference even?
Well, I think there is a difference. I mean, when I think of happiness, the Dalai Lama had a wonderful way of describing that. He said that happiness wasn't something that was ready-made and that it comes from your own actions. And I think, you know, there are many things that make us happy. Oh, I just had a wonderful time out with my friends. I'm so happy. Oh, I got a lovely gift for my birthday. I'm so happy. But that's, to me, happiness can be at times fleeting, where joy, which is where happiness grows and becomes really internal in us. Joy is something that's just so much deeper. It's I like to call it happiness on steroids.
Yeah, I like that. So, Rita, what are your thoughts on living with loss? And you've lived with it for a long time, yeah. And the whole idea of closure, which you obviously didn't get at the time, and the whole emotional extremes that we go through.
Well, I think I went through levels of closure. I mean, certainly whenever one suffers a loss, a death of someone that we love and someone that's so close to us in our lives, we go through, a depression. We go through those stages Elizabeth Kubler-Ross talked about many, many years ago. We go through anger and denial, and eventually we come to a point of acceptance. But I think depending on the way the loss comes, it can kind of come back at us in waves. And I think that's what happened with me, certainly with the loss of my dad, different than when I lost my mom 10 years after my father. But I had time to prepare myself. She went through an illness. We had time to work our way through it, where my dad's was so sudden. And I think it's those sudden losses that we have in life that take much more out of us psychically and much more out of us spiritually, because we have no preparation for that. You know, not that we ever really can prepare for the loss of someone, but when someone is ill, you can kind of cycle your way through that, where when someone's taken from us, you know, unexpectedly and rapidly, there's just no time for preparation.
I guess you can say that for any sudden loss, and not necessarily, I guess, through death. It could be that someone's walked out of your life, or it might be for whatever reason your world comes crashing down around you.
That's a good point, Lois. I think sometimes when people do walk out of our lives and we never hear from them again, that sometimes can be even more difficult, because we know they're still physically around,